Nick's question, a good one. Is it true that some tendencies, I assume you mean patterns, conditioned patterns,
course,
and so
yes.
forth, do not disappear? That with self-inquiry, they don't go? Is it okay to just not care about them? The first part of the question is correct. It is true that many patterns may not go, many tendencies may not go. But what occurs is that with self-inquiry, you are able to get back behind them, to get prior to them. And getting prior to them, you can literally be free of them. Now, the other part, is it okay to not care about them? Well, you'll have to look to see. If you identify with them, people might care about them pretty good. And you may not care about the results you get. You understand what I'm saying? So the point is, don't identify with them. Don't act upon them. Stay prior to them. See them for what they are. And don't go there. Make the choice to not identify. Stay in the prior pure awareness, the self, the being that we actually are. This abiding in the awareness of the being that we are is itself the whole point, the entire purpose. That's what it's all about. Awakening to this pure awareness of being and remaining in this pure awareness of being. Now, when I say awakening, I mean getting it. That's all. Just seeing that awareness is who and what we are. Have you ever not been aware? Sure, when you're asleep, you're not aware. Or let's say you're not conscious, but you're still aware. You ever go to sleep, have a good deep sleep, and then wake up and say, "Oh, did I have a good sleep? I slept well." Huh? You ever do that? How did you know? How did you know if you were not there present that you had a good sleep, that you slept well, and that you're now rested? Of course, you can't say that while you're asleep. You can only say that after you have awakened. And the reason you can't say that is because the body-mind was not existing in that awareness of being. I know for some people that's a difficult one to get. The body-mind was not existing. I was not existing while I was in dreamless sleep. Yes, that's a fact. There was no identification with the body-mind or with the world. It wasn't even existing. To whom? To you, while in dreamless sleep. I know, again, that's a difficult one for some people to grasp the significance, and yet it's so simple. Pure awareness must be, consciousness must be, before anything else can be. If consciousness is not, nothing else is. In dreamless sleep, you're not in the quality of conscious awareness. You have withdrawn the mind. It is naturally withdrawn into the pure awareness itself. The sense of I is what sustains time and space, and the body-mind. Time and space is this world. And in dreamless sleep, the mind is not sustaining this world. And so it's not sustaining the body-mind either. When you awake, that quick you can be awake, and now you are in time and space, and you're in the body and in the mind. But in dreamless sleep, while you're in dreamless sleep, you're not. For example, have you ever been very ill? Maybe even had a pain in the body, a toothache, a backache, a stomachache, feeling horrendous? What happens to it when you go to sleep? You know for yourself, if I could just go to sleep. Right? Now this is a fact for all of us. If I could just go to sleep, and that sometimes is the very thing you want to do. You could be in the hospital, and the doctor said, go to sleep. He would rather for you to go to sleep too. In fact, they give you something to put you to sleep. And while you're asleep, you don't have pain. Why? Because there's no mind and there's no body. Even in an ordinary situation in the world, let's just say we all know that there's a war going on somewhere. There's a war going on. Well, choose any war. I know you don't want to choose a war, so don't choose a war, but just think about it. A soldier in battle could be wounded and be undergoing tremendous pain, and there is no medic available to give any relief for the pain. If he or she can just go to sleep, then there's no problem. As long as he's asleep, there's no problem. Why? Same reason. In dreamless sleep, there's no mind, and all that is formed and created by the mind, that is depending upon the mind, is absent also. When the mind is absent, everything that is dependent upon the mind is also absent. That's the body, your affairs, your emotions, your likes and your dislikes. You may be pissed off at someone. If you go to sleep, you're not. You have to wake up again to get pissed off again. Are we here? Just get it. Just very simple. See it for what it is. Very basic. Consciousness must be before anything else can be. If consciousness is not, nothing else is. What is this consciousness? It's the very self, the very being that we all are. Now, what we don't recognize is that this being that we all are is not individual. This being that we are is universal. It's the unborn awareness, the pure being, the supreme being, the sourcing essence, real God, or whatever name you want to give it. That's who and what we are. That's who and what we've always been. As this being that we are, which is universal, the fact of the matter is, the very truth is, there is no individual being. That one is a blast in the ass for many. And you might say it's the blast for most until you get it. You want to be somebody, don't you? I don't want to be nobody, I want to be somebody. That's the mind, that's the body mind, that's the ego. That's who we think we are, and we all kind of want to be somebody. We don't want to not exist, we want to always exist. But this existence that we want to always have is the thought of me. The identification with me as an entity living in time and space, and then even after I'm no longer in a body, I still want to exist. I want to know that I'm going to survive death. Anyone there? Anyone here? Come on. You get what I'm saying. The self we think we are is not the self we really are. The self we think we are, which is the body mind, the ego, the entity living in time and space, the notion that first person singular, I am a person. You know, I am a person, you know. I am a human being, you know. You ought to honor me. Anyone know the one I'm talking about? Come on, you know what I'm talking about. There's been that time with everyone at one time in which you might have even been offended when anyone would think that you don't exist. And this I that you think you are that exists, the thinking I, guess what? That's not who you are. That's just your mind. That's just your ego. That body mind that started reasoning about the time you were around about a year and a half, 2 years old, whenever you started reasoning. It began even earlier than that when you were lying in the crib and you got fascinated with your hand. Have you ever watched a baby in a crib? Anyone? And watched them become aware of their body. It's delightful to watch a baby become aware of its body. And then it becomes aware of everything. It continues to grow in knowledge of its body and eventually of its mind. Of all now that has begins to get recorded in its mind. So who are you? What are you? Well, to start off with, the body, you're the food that you eat. started off really as the food your mother was eating. Maybe a little bit before that, the food your father was eating. And his sperm. Doesn't that make you feel good? You're the sperm that came out of your father's penis, that impregnated your mother's ovum and grew in the womb and was sustained by the food that your mother ate. And then when the body was born, popped on your butt, had a number one emotional event experience at the time of birth, and it's been kind of growing ever since. These emotional events that over time we begin to collect and accumulate as the experiences that we were having. But it's the we was not even there. There was no me there to begin with. And this me that was never there to begin with, look and see if you can find it now. Where is this me? Where is it housed? Where is it located? If you start tracing the personal sense of me, the thought that you exist, and start looking for this reference point of you as to where are you located, what are you going to come up with? Can you find you anywhere? Can you? Has anyone taken the inquiry all the way through? Well, I recommend you do it, because that's what inquiry is really all about. When you start taking the inquiry all the way through, what you're going to come up with, the me that you think you are, the I that you think you are, this entity that you think that you are living in time and space, there is no such entity as a me living in time and space. That's a thought. And that's a thought in the mind. And that mind has been with you since you started reasoning. And that's the mind that is your self-image. The self you think you are. What you think and believe about yourself. What you feel about yourself. But this me that you're thinking and feeling is you, which is just the mind, is occurring in an awareness, and this awareness, what is this awareness? You don't know. Now that's the one we give names to. God, Source, Consciousness, Awareness, the Supreme, all of those names to that, capital T, that pure being, presence, this moment, instant awareness. And understand that every event and every experience that you have, when you have an event occurring, when is an event occurring? Only now, this moment. You shouldn't have answered that. You already knew. Oh, it was over here. Excuse me. You should have answered that. You knew too. Are you all with me? Are you with us? Huh? Every event is only occurring in this instant. You hear the birds chirping? It's going on in this instant. Are you breathing? It's going on in this instant. This lady just swatted at a fly a moment ago, but it was only a moment ago. It's gone. This instant, she's just sitting here. Are you breathing? You're breathing in this instant. The last breath you just took, you can't breathe that one anymore. It's gone. The last thought you just thought, you can't think that thought anymore. You may think a same thought, again, that same thought, but it won't be that first thought that you thought just a moment ago. We think only now. We experience only now. This instant, this present instant. It's the only instant we have. It's the only life that we have. Right now, this moment. And you can't get this in the future. There's no future to get it in. This awareness that we all are is infinite and eternal, and it's now. This infinite and eternal awareness is right now. See it, be it, know it for yourself. It's the only awareness there is. And guess what? It's ours. It's not even yours. It doesn't belong to the person sitting next to you. It belongs to all of us. Same way with sleep. When you go to sleep, it's not your sleep, or her sleep, or his sleep. It's our sleep. We all have the same sleep. Where do you go when you go to sleep? Into yourself. Out of time and space. Free of time and space. Just be it right now, this moment. Know it right now, this moment. This awareness. This presence. This I amness. I amness. Nod your head if you're getting it. Welcome back home. You never left. This is it. You might as well accept it. This is as good as it's ever going to get. This is as clear as it's ever going to be. This is your own pure being. Now, if anyone does have a question or anything you'd like to share, please feel free to do so. Just abide in this awareness, that's all. Just remain in this awareness. Continually acknowledging in yourself for yourself this awareness, this presence, this I amness. Yes.
I read in your book that thought are things, no? So you should concentrate on the thought that you want to become true. So your life will be as you like, right? But since I know that, for me, when I meditate, it's very difficult. It's always difficult not to think. But after this, I always try to think what I want to happen. And it's difficult for me to not to worry about, I'm always try to think, okay, so I try to feel this to happen, this, like that, when I meditate.
Okay. If you're referring to my book in here, where I talk about thoughts or things, understand that that is in the world of time and space. Thoughts or things. That's in the mind. Thoughts or things. Okay. And what you think about grows. And you become what you think about. So in this sense, whatever it is you want to experience in your life in the world, if you want it to be a certain way, years ago I used to teach. I was a trainer for many years in teaching personal and company effectiveness for people as so-called individuals. I used to believe there were individuals in those days. What a joke, huh? And so I used to also teach effectiveness for companies and so forth. Well, in the world, you can create with your mind whatever it is that you would like to experience, whatever you like to have, whatever you like to do, whatever you like to be in the world. I no longer recommend that, but you can do that. And the reason that I share with people that you can do that is so they can get on with their life, and if whatever they feel that they have lacking in their life, that they're not having in their life they would like to have, that seems to be holding them back from applying themselves to living a spiritual life, or what we would normally call a spiritual life. Am I making myself clear?
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, in that regard, I would still support someone in doing that. Now, you as a meditator, if you do not have desires, you're in a much better place than those who have desires. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because desires will get in the mind and draw the mind off to wanting the object of the desire. And that will distract you from your ability to abide in the pure awareness of the self that you really are. Okay? So if you do, however, have thoughts going on, and you want those thoughts to subside, then use inquiry. The inquiry is the main thing we teach here now. Following your own sense of I back to where it is starting, where it's occurring. See if you can locate it. See if you can find your own sense of I. Where is it located? Within you. Do that and see. Find it. See if it's located anywhere. What you're going to ultimately discover, it's not. And then you will just recognize the awareness, which is thoughtless, faceless, formless, pure being. Right now, this moment.
But it's possible to combine the two, like in the world, to have a life that you like, and also while you meditate, and also at the same time also in your life to feel this, and both.
Which do you prefer?
Huh?
Which do you prefer?
Maybe because I'm a little worried about my life, you know.
You're worried
So I would like both. I don't know, because I'm worried also of I have to start new job, so of earning enough money. This because to have also spiritual life, you need also to have a normal life to support yourself. You know, you need to eat, you need to work, you need
Well,
also.
that's what that little book is about. And the bigger book in there is more about that. The Handbook to Perpetual Happiness is really about that. That's what it really is about. How to live in the world, but not of the world. Are you understanding what I mean by that?
Yes, yes.
Living in the world. This is what Jesus was about. Living in the world, but not living from the world's principle as though you really were just a physical being living in time and space.
Yeah.
The ability to live a spiritual life, a life of pure awareness, not at the effect of your mind, not at the effect of your emotions, your thoughts, your patterns of behavior that you might find to be what you would like to change or improve, see, but to be in the awareness, free of your concerns, free of all your concerns and all of your doubts and all of your worries. I'm sure that's what you would like.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, that's what we are about. That's what we teach. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, how do you do that? Well, you start by following your sense of I. That's the first place to start. If you can bring your awareness, your attention back into your awareness and stay in the awareness, right now, this moment, and stay in the awareness, then when your mind rises, just watch your mind. Don't go there. Don't identify with it. And if you've been practicing this along with the other things that we teach, you'll learn how to do this, how to stay in this pure awareness. And then you can direct your own thoughts instead of your thoughts directing you.
Yes, this is what I want.
Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I can't give that to you this quick.
No.
It takes training,
Yeah.
but you can train yourself to do that.
I will.
Okay? All right.
day when I was sitting silent, I could feel some restlessness, which was then in the body, which I identified as some old remembrances of fear of death, like fainting and cramping. And I could see the thought, I cannot stand this. But
See the thoughts
I cannot stand it.
could not stand it?
yes, but it was a thought. I was still there, but it was still a rough journey, a little bit.
A rough journey, it's still a rough journey.
Rough.
Journey.
A little bit rough because, there is the identification, I believe it, and then I remember not to believe it. So it's like, it just...
Okay. Well, when that happens, just stay with it. Stay with the watching of it. That's the mind is going to do all of it's going to throw everything at you when you're going through such processes like this.
Yeah.
That's the conditioning of the mind. Watch it when it happens. It's like a storm. Well, just watch the storm. Don't get identified with it. See? And eventually it will go. Eventually it will go. Okay? Just stay in the awareness as the awareness, in the stillness and silence of your own being, and just watch it. And just keep staying in the stillness and silence of your own being while that's going on. And you might even say to it, I'm not going there. See? Or just say to it, not to. Not to. There's not to. Not to. There's just one. There's just me as awareness. Just awareness. Just I am. Just I am. Stay in the I am. I mean, when I say not to, here's two, but there's only one. Not two.
Yeah.
See, this and something else. There is not two. There's just one awareness. I am. You get what I mean?
I get it.
Okay.
And still sometimes, especially if it's body pain, it is a little bit difficult because everything, all the conditioning wants to think this is the me. Yeah.
Yes, the conditioning is into the body and to the mind. See, the mind holds the body. It keeps the body together. The mind depends upon the body. So the moment that the body is going through something, then the sense of I is going to be threatened by that, see? But you're not that sense of I. You're the awareness that sees that. Be the seer of that, not the seen. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's what I try a little bit.
Stay with the practice. Yes. Stay firm with the practice. And eventually you'll be able to develop the strength. We call it the attention muscle. The attention muscle. So develop your attention muscle so that you can stay strong in your attention on just the I am. Okay? All right. Stillness and silence is always most important. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi used to say that silence is and stillness is the perennial language of the self. So recognizing this stillness, imbibing of, partaking of, surrendering to and letting go into this stillness and silence, which is your own pure being. In this pure being there is no other. It's the allness, the I amness. In this pure I am, again, there is no other. Other includes separateness. Other is the feeling of being separate. But in this pure I am, there is no separateness. Ever remain in this pure I am as the basis of being itself, your being. Your being is not a separate being. Your being is pure being. Accept this. Accept that your being is not a me, not as an individual. Your being is I amness. The I am that is recorded in the Bible as Moses' enlightenment. I am that I am. The same I am that is God's I am. There is no God and me. There's only this I am. Not two. Recognize this. Stay in the state of recognition as it. Function from it. See everything from it without a me that is seeing it. There's only this being. Only the seeing itself, the being itself. Now, if there's any uncertainty about what is meant by this, or how to retain this, then certainly ask your questions while we're here together. Don't let the opportunity pass and you have questions that don't get answered. But just stay in the awareness. That's the most important. But you can stay in the awareness and ask a question. You can stay in the awareness and function. There's no conflict between the wisdom of staying in pure awareness and action. No conflict at all. So you can work and function and abide in this pure awareness.
My confusion is around, in order to have this awareness, it comes through my body, through my senses.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
No. It's first. You have a misconception about it. No judgment now, and don't judge yourself, and I'm certainly not judging you, but you have a misconception about it, that your body is telling you about it. It's telling you about your body. It's not the body telling you about it. You wouldn't even know you had a body if you were not aware. How would you know that you had a body if you were unconscious?
So this awareness is after death?
It's first. It's first. It's primary. And then there's a body, then there's a mind after that, and then there's a body. So the body is about third generation from this awareness.
She asked if there was awareness after death.
What?
If there was awareness after death. That's what she's asking.
Was there awareness before birth? Who doesn't know? We'll inquire to see who wants to know. Look and see. There's never been a moment in which you have not been. You're the creator of all of this.
And this state of being present and hearing these noises right now is coming through my senses. It's what's happening right now through my body.
The thought I hear, the thought I see, the thought I am, the thought I see cannot see anything. The thought I hear can hear nothing. What can the thought I do without the awareness that you are? Tell me.
Well, I used to think that was my brain.
I'm sorry?
I used to think that was my brain that was processing and telling
Well,
me.
I know that you may have thought that, but that was a thought, wasn't it?
Right.
How could you have thought that?
Well, I was taught that.
I'm sorry?
I was taught that.
Well,
Yeah.
somebody taught you some bullshit. Don't buy it. Find out for yourself. And don't believe me. Find out for yourself. Don't be offended by my words, people. Don't be offended. If you're offended, that's your mind offending you. I'm here with compassion to share with you that which will set you free. I'm only here for your freedom. I want nothing from you. I need nothing from you. What I have to share with you is without price. You're here, you're welcome, and you can return anytime you wish to, and remain for the duration of the time we're here, coming back. Understand that I'm here to share that which will allow you, in realizing it, to be free.
Thank you.
Awareness must be before anything else can be, and if awareness is not, nothing else is. And awareness is what you are, not the body. You, again, don't even know anything about your body without the awareness being there first. Your awareness is even before your thoughts. You can't think without being conscious as awareness. So take your inquiry deep within you. Take it within you. It's not that far in either. You don't have to go that deep. It's right here now. You just like you said, you could hear the birds chirping. Well, what is hearing the birds? Your ears? Your ears can't hear the birds unless the awareness is there giving life to your ears. Do you see what I'm saying? And you must see this for yourself and begin to start inquiring into your own thoughts, into your own awareness, and see for yourself. Check it out for yourself. Investigate it yourself. Don't take anyone's word for it. Check it out. Are you getting what I'm saying? Okay. Again, everyone is welcome to come. What is today? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Everyone is welcome to come back on Friday, if you wish. You're all welcome. You don't have to do another interview. Isn't that nice? I'm the one that requires the interview because I want to make sure that I'm not interested in working with people or being with people who are not interested in working on themselves. I'm not here for window shoppers, for guru hoppers. You get it? Window shoppers and guru hoppers, no. But people who are sincere and dedicated in your own personal sadhana, your spiritual practice, then I'll be with you and I will share with you what I have to share. And you're welcome. You're always welcome. Yes.
Possible to come before Friday?
I'm sorry?
Is it possible to come before Friday?
If you want to come at 5:30 in the morning, you can come and meditate with us. Ooh, how about that one?
I didn't say that.
But be here at 5:30 in the morning and you can meditate with us. And if you want to make arrangements with Jan, and come, and any time if you want to make arrangements, come and sit on our roof and meditate on the hill. Just make the arrangements with Jan to do so. This is a beautiful place to meditate. You noticed? There's a presence here, a stillness here. Wonder what it is. We're conscious here. Everything here does sadhana. Everything here is working on itself, on recognizing itself as being the sourcing essence. Everything. See everything? Yes. Yes. The tiles are doing sadhana. The walls are doing sadhana. You stay in the sadhana, okay? And be happy. Namaste.